So by now, we've probably all seen the devastating images that have been shared around the world from the recent, and at the time of this recording, transpiring wildfires that represent the latest in the Earth's most modern and infernal history. Now that a majority of citizens in developed countries of the world are carrying what I would consider supercomputers in their pockets, which are capable of filming and uploading disasters such as these, we're left to ponder, has the world always been this way? And are we just now able to observe global catastrophes as they happen from anywhere in the world? Or are such events the result of a rapidly changing climate, which is that dystopian future for which we have long been warned? Now, I believe, as probably most of the viewers finding this video likely do, that the answer to that question is quite simply both. This millennium has brought with it an era of superstorms and hellish infernos, the likes of which humanity has probably never witnessed before, and we're observing them with increasing frequency and increasing severity. Simultaneously, we're able to use modern communication technology to record these events as they unfold and then share those files with the digital world in the year 2020. Not only has this given us much cause for alarm, but with each passing catastrophe, those fewer and fewer skeptics that would deny the ongoings of a mass extinction, which has been accompanied by an increasingly insulative atmosphere causing a rapid rise in temperature observed in the oceans and in the air. Those skeptics are quickly running out of explanations. And these recent fires in the continent of Australia, fires which have threatened the extinction upon multiple native species, displaced millions of people from their homes, and at this moment charred over 12.5 million acres of land and counting. These fires that seem to manifest the very properties of hell. This fire is not merely a concern for Australians or Australia, nor merely a concern for koalas, kangaroos, echidnas, or platypus. This is a problem for all life forms that have come to know Earth as their home. And there's a disturbing truth that seems to creep into our minds whenever we stop to observe this particular crisis. And that is that this sort of wildfire isn't just caused by a loose bolt of lightning that clears a forest or a plain for new growth. Now, I'm afraid this event is marked by a defining trait that only us humans can take accountability for. This fire isn't natural. Now, it's true that when we build our civilizations against the borders of forests, grasslands, vegetation of countless varieties, and then those fires break out, we extinguish them because we want to save our homes and our cities. We've come to regularly prevent nature from carrying out its systematic thermal cleansing of the various ecosystems around the world. And by doing so, we have unintentionally stockpiled immense aggregations of fuel in and around our civilizations, which will inevitably and unexpectedly blaze for weeks on end in the absence of a renewed and improved effort to systematically conduct responsible, controlled burning. But more important than that unintentional prevention of otherwise beneficial and necessary wildfires throughout modern history, we humans have contributed to a global environment that has grown increasingly warm and increasingly dry. And by extension of rapid temperature rise, we are observing unprecedented atmospheric convection, resulting in faster and more frequent winds, as well as new, devastating, and volatile storms. We've seen these recent hurricanes worldwide. Now, we've done this by extracting the naturally dispersed groundwater found on Earth with our irrigation technologies. And we have for many years directed the flow of the continent's natural water stores to our civilizations and our farms. Our cities and private corporations have pumped our lakes, rivers, creeks, and streams dry for bottled water, for our lawns, showers, dishwashers, washing machines, and most importantly, our agriculture. By hoarding this clean water for ourselves, we have turned grasslands to desert and desert to uninhabitable wasteland. We've cut down forests to build our homes and shopping centers. Most of the land has been cleared to grow food for our livestock, which is extracting the heaviest tolls upon the Earth's resources, most notably water. By removing the plants, we've crippled the Earth's natural capacity to produce oxygen and remove carbon from the atmosphere. And through these means, we emit entirely lopsided and unsustainable volumes of gas, including a shocking atmospheric imbalance that has brought the posterity of future generations into question. So, as the video title implies, are you responsible for the wildfires in Australia? The answer is, we all are. Every person that decides to indulge in another hamburger or another slice of bacon. When you decide to water your brown lawn in the summer or wash your car's filth down the local storm drain, needlessly flush your toilet, and then proceed to pray for the souls living in Australia or send your thoughts and prayers out via social media. This behavior will ensure that the earth continues to evict us from our short footnote in geological history. Now, this isn't meant as an insult, but you as the consumer hold the greatest power in this equation. And what the consumer is doing today is effectively using their spending power to first siphon the Earth's resources through unsustainable purchasing habits, inflicting widespread devastation upon the Earth, and only after the sight of their collective choices do they proceed to donate money in an effort to unmake this catastrophe and undo the sum of their poor choices. Now, I hope sincerely, my friend, that you can see the failure of this living strategy. But if you aspire, as I do, to see life on Earth endure, and you believe that we need to build civilizations that are in keeping with nature here on Earth before we ponder expedition to other worlds, if you believe that humanity deserves a shot at the next stage in evolution, I'm asking you to observe this inferno as a stark warning of the near future, should we refuse meaningful change. And I'm not talking about phony change that's spoken by charming politicians seeking power, or change every other week or 1 month out of the year. I'm talking real, lasting change, the sort of change that leads to evolution. The time has come, ladies and gentlemen. We could no longer afford tough talk without making real sacrifices and actually fundamentally changing the way we live. I promise that in the future where we survive, we've become a predominantly plant-based species, as all of our relatives in the hominidae are, and as we were always meant to be. Don't put it off any longer. Stop the mindless consumption of this world, which has borne us all, and step into the fight for our lives. I'm calling for an end to factory farming, unsustainable agriculture, widespread meat consumption, and I'm calling for common sense water use reform. Join me and end these destructive ways. Together, we'll redefine what it means to live as humans in the 21st century.